Hi everyone, welcome back to the sunny side. I'm Sonny, and today, I'm going to tell you guys what I learned from Sagittarius. Oh yeah, alright, you're probably not going to believe this one, seriously. But I did learn something pretty big from Sagittarius. But before we get into that, let's look at the obvious, right? Alright, first things first. Sagittarius is definitely fiery. They're adventurous, super smart, ridiculously sexy, very social, outgoing, and one of the most fun signs of the zodiac. And I think all of this is very super cool. And for those who don't know, my little sister is a Sagittarius, and I think they're awesome. On the downside, however, they definitely lack tact. Yeah, no kidding, man. Sometimes they dress funny, that's for sure. And they're just, but here's the important thing. They're just not into anything that hints of control, and that could easily include keeping appointments and showing up on time. No, Sagittarius isn't as bad as Gemini or Libra when it comes to being irresponsible. And no, they're not in it just for themselves. But the control thing can be a deal breaker for them. So, when dealing with Sagittarius, you better phrase things in a very free and organic kind of way. Because once again, any hints of control will literally send them running. Alright, I get comfortable here. Okay, but having said that, Sagittarius is one of our most optimistic and loving signs. So just because they book a flight to the merry old land of Oz doesn't mean they're not coming back. And I gotta let you guys know, for a Scorpio, I think that's a little weird, okay? Just saying. You see, some signs are into work, and building for a better tomorrow. Building a better future. Some signs are nesters who not only like it close to home, but they also like the hands-on approach to taking care of and nurturing things around them. And yeah, for many of the signs, although it's hidden behind nice words, alright? Like helping or nurturing or healing or sacrifice for a better tomorrow, it's actually their control tendencies rearing its possessive head, alright? And Sag not only senses this faster than any other sign, they also rebel against it. Heads up, just be careful. But, having said that, alas, no. I didn't learn to flake the control bug from Sag. My sister knows I'm a control freak, and she doesn't push me on it. And she just keeps telling me to relax and to not stress. And this includes stressing the big stuff as well as the small stuff. And it's not because she knows, any universal secrets that I don't know. Like, seriously, how's that gonna happen? She just keeps saying, we've been through so much already. The worst has already happened a couple of times and we survived. So what's the point of stressing, I think that's a good point. See, I was listening. But no, I didn't learn to be cool for my little sister, right? Again, I'm a double Scorpio. My inner strength is pretty good. My inner game is pretty tight. So, what else then, Sonny? Alright, my man, that's a good question. I need Sagittarius energy in my life, okay? For something you wouldn't expect. And let's look at things this way. Over the years, I have met many people with strong Sagittarius energy running through them, whether it be from their rising sign, their sun sign, or their moon sign, or simply a well-aspected 9th house. And they all have a similar outlook and pattern in their behavior. Now, these are the guys, okay? Everybody ready? These are the guys who take the year off and go traveling. I can't even imagine sleeping in, and these guys are hitting the boogie for a year, okay? Oh my god, these guys plan epic adventures that will take them away from everything they're working towards in the city and just hitting the party button for a year. And again, I just cannot relate. I mean, check this out. I didn't play my sax, right? I didn't play my sax for 2 weeks over Christmas, and I was like freaking out. I was like thinking about buying new mouthpieces. I'm like, oh, my sound. I lost my sound, man. And everybody's like, what? anyways, when that came up, Sag was laughing at me like you wouldn't believe. It was kind of funny. But anyways, just saying that I can't really relate. But I get it. Anyways, it's not just that Sag likes to travel, right? I like to travel too. But is different. I tend to go on working vacations where I do, a workshop or a show in a city or something. I invite you guys out, right? But not Sag. She's going on that vacation to play. She wants to check out the sights. She wants to see what's going on. She wants to know the action and that vibe. And that's what she's planning to do. It's kind of funny. No, it's actually really cool. Anyways, it's not that Sag is so restless that she's constantly looking for new experiences either. She just kind of has an exotic fetish, so to speak. But this desire definitely leads her on a journey. And this journey is something Sagittarius is always on, even if they can't physically, boogie down and eject for an extended period of time. Okay, Sonny, so what? Some people like to stay at home, some like to go out. What's the big deal? Alright, man, good question. But before I school you on the real Sagittarius, I'll tell you how they do it. First, and most importantly, Sagittarius is not like Aries, alright? They're not going to just hop in the car and start driving. They're not like Pisces, so they're not just going to let their intuition lead them on the adventure, and they're not like Libra, so they're not going to hop in the car and just go along for the ride, Sagittarius plans their adventures. No, not in a detailed itinerary kind of way like Virgo. What I mean is, Sag is going to plan their trip well in advance. They're going to work hard and save the money for the adventure. Sagittarius will line all of her ducks up before she takes the plunge. But, as with all adventures, she does not know exactly 100% what she's getting herself into or what's going to happen when she returns. But she does it anyways. Right? And this, my friend, takes us to what I learned from Sagittarius and why it's so important. Alright, where am I here? Sagittarius, you guys ready? Sagittarius taught me courage. Yeah, seriously. She taught me to let go of my controlling attitudes and let the world spin for a while. In one of Ayn Rand's book, she asked the question, if you saw Atlas, holding the weight of the world on his shoulders and you had the chance, what would you say to him? What would you say to Atlas, man? What are you going to say to that cat? Alright? And she said the same thing Sagittarius tells me all the time. She tell Atlas just shrug, and let the world spin on its own for a while. And I gotta say, man, that's difficult for a control freak like me, I gotta say. But courage isn't. And that brings us to our next little story. It was a combination of Sagittarius and Cancer energy from the two most beautiful people that I know that gave me the courage to leave my old job and open the music studio that we are in right now. And neither of them pushed me or berated me or expressed disappointment in me and what I was doing at the time. They just looked at me, they just looked at me like I could be so much more. If I just stopped hiding and flexed my wings for just one brief moment in time. And yeah, it took a ridiculous amount of courage to make that leap. But when love says you can do something, then my man, you can definitely do it. Sag is optimistic, but so what? So am I, okay? It's not a big deal. Sag is sexy and psychic, and it's very cool, but again, I'm in that club as well. No, Pisces taught me to believe in myself, alright? And Aquarius taught me to have faith in my journey. Capricorn taught me to be fair and to treat others with respect on the way to my goals. Sagittarius, well, Sagittarius taught me to have the courage to let go of what I think I know. They taught me to stop trying to control everything and just be one with the journey. Sagittarius knows this is difficult. And again, like my sister says, we've already been through the worst. So no, Sagittarius doesn't have to push me. They don't come down on me when they sense my fears creeping in either. They just love me and they want me to shine. I really like it. And they know all it takes is a little bit of courage to let go of tomorrow's struggles and embrace the love that's flowing all around us and warming all of us today. Because of this, because of Sagittarius, directly because of Sagittarius, I was able to let go of a dying light, look behind the veil, and enter the beautiful new day that I was actually looking for all along, you know? And it's pretty cool. Anyways, Sagittarius flat out taught me to let go and be brave. They taught me courage. And for that, I am eternally grateful. And that's what I learned from Sagittarius, guys. Straight up. Thanks for watching the video. Maybe sharing it with your friends on Facebook. Maybe giving the video a thumbs up if you liked it. Maybe even subscribing to the channel. Every little bit helps, and I super appreciate the support. From thesunnyside.net, I'm Sonny, reminding everyone there is a bright light inside all of us. You just have to have the courage to let it shine. And that's the action from Sagittarius. Once again, from thesunnyside.net, I'm Sonny, wishing everyone the absolute best of a beautiful week. And I'll see you soon.